All right, we are good to go whenever you guys are ready.
Well, anyone want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, cool.
So I had a hard time finding a example for article or chapter 13 bankruptcy. So the one I found, I'm trying to pull up the link for the one I found didn't exactly talk about like an example of chapter 13 bankruptcy, but it talked about the new changes that they've issued, like the limits on secured and unsecured debt and stuff like that. But it was hard. I'm trying to find an article, so if you guys found one better, that's fine by me.
Yeah, I kind of struggled too.
Same here.
I misread it, and so I did a chapter 11 bankruptcy one. And so
Yeah, there's a lot of chapter 11 articles out there.
I think they got it a little easier.
Yeah, I had no problem finding chapter 11.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found one pretty good. I just have to find the article.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull it because I forgot to save it. Because like when on the submission page, he won't let you copy and paste it. So like I can't just type it up in like Microsoft Word and then paste it over. So I have to like just like type it into the actual quiz. So that's what I did this time, and I forgot to save the text.
Oh,
So I can't go back and read what I had submitted. So I got to find the article so I can kind of recap it.
I kind of have one, but it's not so much like an example. It's just it kind of is a little bit, but it's all right. It's an okay one.
what was it about?
So it's about this particular lady who, what's the word for it? She filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and the agency that was supposed to collect her debt is now taking her to court to, I guess, get the money that she owes. It's like it didn't really specify how many years like she's it's been since she's started filing, but it seemed like it's been a long time. So this agency's trying to get the money that she owes to her. She hasn't paid it back yet, and then now it's going to the Supreme Court, and they're going to hear about it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that might be a good one then.
And then it just talked about some of the rights that like both parties have. Like it talked about how whoever files for bankruptcy is supposed to pay off the debt, but then whoever did file, she does have like some kind of rights to for the agency not to come after her, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of was my example.
I like that. That's not bad.
I can I'll shoot you guys the link for the what's it called.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this article too, it specifies just more of like the rights with like both parties rather than like the actual her filing for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. But it does make it mention in that and that she hasn't paid it off yet.
All right. So I found my example too.
Oh, cool.
All right. So mine was entitled "The Supreme Court Hears Arguments on Collection of Expired Debts." Basically, what's going on is that like certain credit card debts, they are not certain credit cards. Most credit card debts can't be collected after like 5 years. Like once they're 5 years old, they can't be collected. So in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, basically you make a plan of how you're going to repay your debt. So that consolidates a lot of like credit card debts and student loans and stuff like that, and it condenses it all so you can make a payment plan over the next 3 to 5 years. It doesn't just erase the debt. So what was going on is that when people were filing for Chapter 13 bankruptcies, is that they were like these credit card companies were like making claims to their credit card debt, making that they had to pay the credit card debt back in that consolidation, even though they were over 5 years old and should just be dropped. So the Supreme Court is holding hearings into looking into whether they should, what did it say? basically like not like suing them or like taking them to court, but like barring them because they're breaking some sort of law.
I think mine might be the same as yours.
Yeah,
That's what I was just thinking.
Sound like credit card debt. I know mine talked about that too in the Supreme Court.
Mine was the Supreme Court hears arguments like the collection of expired debts by Katie Stetch.
Now, let me see if the.
2017.
Okay, no, never mind. Mine's just different.
Oh,
Sounds so similar though.
I know. That's what I was just
Yeah.
thinking as I was reading it.
It says some consumer advocates say debt collectors who tried to collect the money should be fined under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, a 1977 law that bans debt collectors from using misleading tactics.
What's the name of the lady?
Katie, Katy,
The-
Stetch, Stech.
That's the author or the person that is filing for bankruptcy?
That is the author.
Yeah, we don't have the same author.
It said that who was it? It's basically saying like overall like companies are doing this, but it did give a specific example to an Alabama resident, I want to say. It just says Tuesday's arguments arose from bankruptcy of an Alabama resident, Alita Johnson, who filed for Chapter 13 protection in 2014. As part of the process, businesses and people owed money for the person who files Chapter 13.
Canaan's was about Alita Johnson too.
Yours is what?
I think they're both about the same person, Alita Johnson.
Yeah, just different authors.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
different authors though.
That's cool though.
Sounds about the same though. I don't know if it's the same lady, but same, almost the exact same thing.
Basically, she was filing for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and credit card companies were making her pay the debt back, even though they're old. I don't know.
I like it. So we can use her story, her example, and we can use both articles for it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You want to post the link by chance, Casey, so we can check it out?
Yeah, let me do that real quick. All right, I posted it.
Oh, come on, load.
Yeah, it looks like they're the same lady. It's the Midland versus what's her name?
Johnson.
Yeah, they're both Midland versus Johnson. Yeah, they're talking about the same issue, it looks like.
Okay. That sounded about the same. Yes, I think Casey's one might be newer than mine. Mine was last year, sometime last year, like October.
But yeah, mine was really recent. Mine was January
So this is like-
2017.
Yeah, so this is like the updated story.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was pretty neat because I worked at, I don't know if you guys know where Progression is or Lexington Law. It's up here in Rexburg. I don't know how many of you are in Rexburg right now. But I used to work there, and we would work to get people's credit fixed. And in order to do that, like we would check with the credit bureaus, and if they're we would check with the credit bureaus and the credit card companies and stuff like that. And if you had old debts, like they had to take them off and like stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting because I had a personal history with it. And it also was over into the case briefing. I don't know if you guys have done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done
I think
it.
it has
I just took a look at it.
with that as well.
And so, which example should we use?
Well, I think they're pretty much the same example.
Yeah, that's true. Well, did you share yours, Jacob?
It's from like 2007, how people were filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy during the
Chapter
housing
11.
crash.
I think maybe I saw that article actually too.
Yeah, it's not really a specific example. It's just kind of like, oh, this is what people are doing.
Okay.
So I definitely like your guys' example better because it's definitely more specific.
Okay.
I would say maybe just as for like which article we select, maybe just go with the newer one.
Yeah, I'll go Casey's. That's how I was thinking. More
But
updated.
as far as like coming up with examples and ideas for a question and stuff, I mean, they're the same exact case and same example, so we could just use both information from both if we need to.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, we can't do one of those easy questions like what would be considered Chapter 13 bankruptcy or something. I don't know if we can, but
Yeah, that's what I was just
a
thinking.
question like that.
Or how do Chapter 13 bankruptcy and Chapter 11 bankruptcy different? Or
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking for something easy.
Didn't we do one like that in the past? Sounds so familiar.
That last one we did was kind of like that. Or like, which of these do not qualify as Chapter 13 bankruptcy? And then list a bunch of, or which of these would not qualify as Chapter 13 bankruptcy? And then we could list a bunch of things that is Chapter 13, and then one that's not.
So we have to work with an example, right? The example that we have here. We could ask which type of bankruptcy this is, and then we could do 7, 11, 13, and then make up a number.
Oh, that's very, I like that. That's a good one.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
Who wants to type it up?
You can't really cover it up anymore. That blue? Look at sad, guys.
Is someone typing it or?
I can type it. I just need to find the template.
Rick downloaded last week's one. I know Jacob did. Emails.
Okay, so I have the template open. If you can just tell me what to put in for the different parts,
Okay.
like the example.
What's the first part?
The example.
The example. So I guess it's just a summary of this court case, a really brief one.
Okay.
That it needs to. What are the parts that make it specific to Chapter 13?
Wait, is that just the color?
So Casey, do you already have an example written for? Well, I guess it's
Well, I'm trying to find in the article where it talks about the Chapter 13.
okay.
Explains what it is.
Okay.
What's some of the qualifications for Chapter 13 bankruptcy? I know like you kind of create like some kind of a deal to like pay off all the debt.
In the article, it says the one paragraph I think that covers it the most is it says Tuesday's arguments arose from the bankruptcy of Alabama resident, blah, 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 who filed for Chapter 13 in 2014. As part of the process, businesses and people owed money from a person who files for Chapter 13 can be paid over 3 to 5 years by stating that they have a claim.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking with the question.
And then it talks about Midland Funding and how they filed a claim to collect almost $2,000 from a credit card from 2003. And under Alabama law, creditors can't collect a debt that is more than 6 years old.
I was thinking with the question what we can do, because what Michael was saying, we can have some of the choices be like Chapter 7, Chapter 11, some of the other kind of bankruptcy. So we can talk about, like, I think her name was something Johnson. Like, I don't remember, but we can talk about, like, she opened up this, she filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and then she kind of, you know, just like explain like what it is, and then just have the question be, well, what is this type of bankruptcy? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I definitely want to try and do that. I'm looking for the differences.
Yeah, like specifically just lay out like some of the things. I know it has to do with like you kind of create a deal to pay it all off.
So for what I have for the answers so far are the correct one being Chapter 13, and then the 3 wrong answers are Chapter 11, Chapter 7, and Chapter 12. And then we'll just explain why those are wrong.
I did just find a link to an article that covers the differences between 7, 11, 12, and 13.
I was like, all we really need is the differences between the 3 then.
Mm-hmm.
That link that I just put might help.
So should we say something like, what type of bankruptcy is she filing? And then the correct answer would be Chapter 13, and we give the reason. It's because she's setting up some sort of payment plan, blah, 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 3 to 5 years. And then we can do like wrong answer, Chapter 7. That's wrong because this is a liquidation bankruptcy, like basically like a
to not pay back anything.
Yeah, not pay back anything. And then you have Chapter 11, which is, it's not Chapter 11. And the reason why, because it's used by businesses. And it looks like there's a Chapter 12 as well, used by farmers. And just kind of give basically just an explanation of each individual bankruptcy.
Okay. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just the question could be just like, I guess you can, like in the explanation, write what's happening with Aleta Johnson, just that she's filing for bankruptcy, and not in the explanation, don't say Chapter 13, just say she's filing for bankruptcy and explain what she's doing, like the steps, like, okay, she's consolidating debt and she's making a payment plan for the next 3 to 5 years or something like that, 3 to 6, I can't remember what it was. And then just simply state in the question, what type of bankruptcy is she filing for? And the correct answer would be Chapter 13, and the wrong one would be Chapter 7, 12.
So for the question, I have what type of bankruptcy is Aleta filing? And then we just need to put the rest of the stuff, the info, in the example.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you guys tell me the stuff I need to write in the example so that we can clearly make it a Chapter 13 bankruptcy?
Okay. So in that case, we just need to write down what she's doing.
Yeah, we're looking for that right now.
Just let me.
Just say that Aleta Johnson.
He's filing for credit card debt.
Is filing for bankruptcy.
to pay off a credit card debt.
Well, I think it's more than just credit card debts. But
Was
the
it more?
problem in the article, the issue is that the credit card companies are trying to get their debt when they're not legally supposed to.
Okay.
It definitely says that she's established a system for creditors' debts to be repaid. So that's one key point that can be put in the example.
Also put like over 3 to 5 years.
She's established the what?
A system for creditors and debts to be repaid. From between 3 to 5 years.
As well as like put in like as well as consolidating credit card debts and loan debts or something. I think that's also part of chapter 13 is consolidating debts.
And this is private, right? It's our private debts. It's not like our business.
Yeah, it is private debt.
Private debt.
Yeah, so I'd make a point of that it's private. It's not part of a company or a corporation. You might even just be able to put it in bullet points in the example for the question. And just knowing that she's not a business, and so that means she's not a farmer or fisherman, and that she intends to pay it back. Those 3 things right there pretty much specify that's chapter 13.
Yeah.
So that's really all the info we need to include.
Chapter 7 should be liquidating her assets, trying to pay it. But with chapter 13, she's just making a payment plan to pay it. And then, like you said, chapter 12 and chapter 11 are excluded because it's a personal debt, not a business debt or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think those points definitely cover it.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed a couple things that you guys said, but can you guys see my screen with the Word document?
Oh, yep.
For the example, is that enough to show that it's chapter 13?
You want to try blow it up a little bit, Mike? Yeah, like maybe 1 or 2. All right, thank you. There we go. That's good.
I think so. Johnson's filing for bankruptcy. She's established a system for creditors and debts to be repaid within 5 years of loan and credit card debt.
I might include something so that it's obvious that it's like personal debts.
And she's like, hey, one of these days you need to come get a phone because I never actually did. A phone, but it's not good.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. I like it.
But I wrote this poem right before the live closed.
So yeah, so correct answer for feedback. Since it is personal debt and she's establishing a payment plan to repay the debts, this qualifies as Chapter 13 bankruptcy. I think, yeah.
That sounds fine.
So that looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then chapter 11.
That's wrong because it's meant for businesses to restructure their debts, so it's not meant for personal debts.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then chapter 7.
Is wrong because it's liquidating all assets with no intention to pay back.
That is that I sent it with your Valentine.
Oh, cool.
So right there. So that's what this was used for using, right? So that's what I sent it to David
Cool. Those we got to it.
11:45.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny because that this whole thing about I understand Valentine. I understand people.
Does that look okay?
So yesterday I was in Valentine, I pretty much that and she like
Good.
sent a screenshot and everything.
Okay. And then chapter 12.
Has to do with farmers.
Farmers and fishermen.
So the dude, really nice guy that like, when people, the soldiers were out there, they wanted to get married. I think people really love, you know, and they weren't allowed to get married. They were getting fights and they told them to die. They found the time. They had that power. So because of that, the soldiers aren't supposed to do it.
Okay. So we have descriptions for our feedback for all three, right? And we have. Okay, so I just need the explanation of our example.
You wrote a love letter to five and you signed it with your one. That's it. I'm down. I signed it.
Yeah, probably just restate whatever we wrote in the our example section for that one. We established a system. They offered debts, 35 years.
I'm hoping that she remembered that.
At least chapter 13 includes all that.
You read what you sent me. Talked a little bit about it. Once it was fucking there. It's fine. And I wrote it in a about 15 minutes, but I wrote 11 minutes because I was moving camera pictures over to
Does that work?
Photoshop. So it's 11 minutes.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave that to her and she was really excited. Like, I went in there, I was like, hey, you can take the name. Yeah.
Looks good to me.
That works good.
Cool. And then I just need to put in the link, right? And then put everyone's names down.
I'll send that to you right when we finish.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, dudes.
You got all of our
Good.
names, Mike?
I think so. It should be in the email, right?
Yeah, it should be.
For last names.
Yeah.
And then you want to post a copy of it too, just so we can get it.
Yeah, for sure. When I get the link, I'll put it all together and send it in an email.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks,
See you
guys.
guys next week.
See you.
All right. Till next
See ya.
week.